The Sumerian economy was one of the earliest and most influential economic systems in human history. It was shaped by the unique geography of southern Mesopotamia, the ingenuity of its people, and the central role of temple institutions. Here's a comprehensive look at the main features of the Sumerian economy, highlighting the most important concepts in simple language. Sumer was located in the southern part of Mesopotamia, near the Persian Gulf, where the land was flat, marshy, and prone to flooding. The Sumerians developed advanced irrigation systems to drain marshes, control floods, and bring water to their fields. They built canals, dams, and levees to manage water from the Tigris and Euphrates rivers. These irrigation projects required collective effort, connecting villages and making cooperation necessary for survival and prosperity. Without irrigation, the land would not have been suitable for farming, so the entire Sumerian economy depended on maintaining these water systems. Agriculture was the main source of wealth. The Sumerians grew wheat, barley, and dates. They also cultivated fruits and vegetables in orchards and gardens. The land was very fertile due to the regular flooding and silt deposits, allowing the Sumerians to produce a surplus of food. Farming was organized around temple lands and required both individual and group labor. Tools like the plow and seeder improved efficiency. The surplus from agriculture was stored and redistributed by temples, supporting not only farmers but also priests, craftsmen, and traders. The temple was the center of economic, religious, and political life in each city-state. Most land belonged to temples, divided into three main types: Nijena, which was land for temple maintenance; Kura, land for temple workers; and Urulal, land leased out for rent. Nijena and Kura lands could not be sold or traded, only Urulal land could change hands. Temples managed large estates and employed many people: priests, farmers, craftsmen, herders, and slaves. The chief priest, known as the Sangu, and his assistants, called Nubanda, supervised land, labor, and the distribution of produce. Every citizen was usually connected to a temple and received a share of the produce, creating a form of religious socialism. Besides farming, the Sumerians were skilled in crafts and industry. Weaving, especially woolen textiles, pottery, metalworking using copper, tin, gold, and silver, and carpentry were important trades. Many craftsmen worked for the temples, producing goods for local use and for trade. Sumerians invented new techniques, such as mixing tin with copper to make bronze, which was used for tools, weapons, and art. Animal husbandry was the second major source of income. They raised cattle, sheep, goats, and pigs. Cattle and donkeys were used for plowing and transport. Temples owned large herds, and animal products like wool, milk, and meat were important for both consumption and trade. Sumer lacked natural resources such as metals, timber, and stone. To obtain these, the Sumerians developed extensive trade networks reaching as far as Oman, Anatolia, the Indus Valley, and the Iranian Plateau. They traded surplus grain, dates, wool, and crafts for luxury goods and raw materials. Trade was managed by temple officials and private merchants. Temples often equipped and supported merchant caravans. Goods were transported by donkeys, camels, and boats along rivers and canals. Sumerian trade helped spread their influence and connect them with distant cultures. The Sumerians did not use coins. Instead, barley and silver were the main forms of currency. Barley was used for everyday transactions, while silver was used for larger or long-distance trade. The value of silver was set in fixed amounts, such as the shekel. Sometimes cattle were also used as a standard of value, and interest on loans was often paid in the form of calves. Debt was common, and sometimes rulers canceled all debts to prevent social unrest. Sumerian society was hierarchical. At the top were nobles, priests, and merchants who controlled land and resources. Below them were commoners who worked the land or practiced crafts. Slaves existed, but slavery was not always permanent. People could regain freedom after repaying debts. Labor was organized both collectively for temple and irrigation work, and individually, like on private plots and in crafts. The Sumerians developed writing, called cuneiform, mainly for economic record-keeping. Clay tablets recorded transactions, agreements, taxes, loans, and inventories. Contracts were witnessed and signed, showing an early form of legal and commercial system. The Sumerian economic system was a complex mix of agriculture, temple-based management, crafts, and trade. Their innovations in irrigation, collective labor, and record-keeping laid the foundation for later civilizations. The temple was not just a religious center but the heart of economic life, ensuring both the prosperity and social stability of Sumer. The Sumerians' ability to adapt to their environment, organize large-scale projects, and connect with distant lands made them pioneers of the ancient world.